Welcome back. It is Saturday, December 7th in the NBA. My four best bets are on the way. If you are new, my name is Austin from Call on Our Shot today. We are joined by a special guest. Get it out. The Broom is here. A 3-0 sweep last night. Exactly what we needed. Now let's talk about it because some of these were pretty sweaty. Jaylen Brown's under 26.5 points. Oh, man, he ended with 25. He had 25 at the end of the third. He did not score in the fourth quarter. We'll take that. We have him hit 13 straight unders on a 13-0 run on unders. I'll let you know right now, I have one in this video. We're trying to go to 14-0. Gobert's over in rebounds. We had no business hitting. He hit on the hook at 11. Should have taken the points and rebounds. Kind of a bad read on my end. He did end up coming through. Naz Reid had 10 rebounds off the bench, which was annoying. And then Sixers plus 4.5, the easiest bet of the day, as they won by 8. I guess there were easier bets out there like Jazz. I mean, and Kings maybe, but hey, we'll take a 3-0 day. Let's continue that momentum today and go 4-0. You guys in? We don't have any spread picks today. I'm going to talk about 4 props, and then I'll get into some spreads that I did look at and really just talk about the other games that I might not have talked about in this video. This NBA slate over the next 5 or 6 days is weird. We have a bunch of games today, even more games tomorrow, but then on Monday, 1 game. Tuesday, 2 games, the NBA in-season tournament games, and then Wednesday, 2 games again. So again, the videos starting at the beginning of next week are going to be a little bit weird. Pretty much a lot of these teams have off from Sunday until Thursday. So we'll see if we get some blowouts, which will be fun. But let's dive into our under of the day. I know you guys don't like unders, but the fact we've hit 13 in a row feels right to start with this one. And this one could move. I don't really think it matters where the line ends up unless it's like 6 points different. Let's talk about Devin Booker under 29.5 points, minus 133 on Caesars. This is my favorite under of the day. Should I turn a 13 straight unders into 14 straight? I took the minus 133. There is obviously 28.5. The problem was 28.5 was like minus 114. So there's some difference there. I don't really honestly think the line makes a big difference. I think if I were the one pricing this one, I'd probably put it closer to like 25.5 juiced in the over or 26.5. And I think that's probably where Devin Booker ends, somewhere in the 22, low 20s to 27 points, somewhere in there. 29.5, I'll take the under all day. Now, obviously, Kevin Durant is out here, and you're going to need some other guys to pick up the slack, but it's not going to be, I mean, Devin Booker sure might get some more volume, but the Miami Heat are going to game plan for him. And we've seen actually Devin Booker struggle against the Miami Heat in his last 6 games versus them. Sure, you could look at games like 10, 12 ago, but I'm looking at mostly the games that since 2022, when Booker's obviously been a stud. He's averaged just 23 points per game against the Heat. He scored 26, 23, 25, 20, 22, and 22 points. Scored that many points. And he's averaging 18 field goals to them. So it's not like he's like, I just picked out some games that he shot 8 times. Gotcha. No, he's shooting 18-ish times a game, which is probably in line with where I would expect him to finish today, given the Heat are a pretty slow-playing team. And if there's anyone to game plan for the Miami Heat, it is Devin Booker. Obviously, Durant is normally a guy you're going to be concerned about. You don't have to be concerned about here. If I'm the Heat, I'm like, hey, D-Book, pass it to your teammates. We'll live with those guys. Some guys that are pretty inconsistent and making jump shots. And we're thinking about who's going to start in that lineup for the Heat and who's going to guard Booker. It's going to be Haywood Highsmith, one of the best defenders in the league. So we look at also, how does Booker score? So sure, the Miami Heat might give him some more focus, but the real reason I'm on this under is how does Booker score? And it's a pretty bad spot against the Miami Heat, hence why he struggled against them. Booker's 3 primary ways of scoring, his top 3. In the pick and roll as the ball handler, on free throws, and in transition. I mean, we're looking at 22, 21, and 17%. So give or take, what's that, 60% of his points come on those 3 actions. The Heat rank 8th, 1st, and 3rd defensively versus those 3 actions. Now, where do they struggle? 26th for spot-up shooters. Is Devin Booker a spot-up shooter? At Kentucky? Sure. With the Phoenix Suns, not really, unless Durant's out there. Sure, he'll spot up a little bit, but he might. I think he scores 10% of his points if he has spot up shots. You think the Heat are going to leave him wide open? No, they're going to leave other guys open, and they're going to live with Tyus Jones making 3-pointers besides Devin Booker. So at the end of the day, I think if D-Book goes over this line, it's because he shoots super efficiently. The Heat are not a team that foul a lot, so I'll take my chances. They'll let Grayson Allen beat them. If you're looking for an over, I actually don't mind Grayson Allen's over. I don't know what his line is because he's a bench guy and won't get a line closer to tip off until closer to tip off. So my favorite under of the day, trying to go to 14-0 on our last 14 unders. Devin Booker's under in points. You can take it at 28.5. Heck, I think you could even take it at 27.5. Like I said, I think the line should be 26.5. Now my next plays, I promise, they're all going to be overs, and we're going to talk with them, and then we'll talk with the other games on the slate. So stick around. Let's dive into this guy, Derrick White, over 14.5 points, minus 105 on BetMGM. Now, if you backed Derrick White yesterday, me saying his name might have just triggered you. because what did he do yesterday? He sucked. I think he missed his first 8 or 9 shots. He was terrible. And we'll talk about that in a second. But I love the bounce back spy here for Derrick White. And also, I think about the Celtics who are on a back-to-back. We already know Al Horford's going to be out. Kristaps will return. But is there a chance that Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum sits, or Drew Holiday? Honestly, I kind of want Drew Holiday in there. He doesn't really shoot. So Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, if you want to take the day off. Hey, Tatum, Deuce's birthday was yesterday, man. Hopefully you celebrated with him. You had a good time with Deuce. And you can take the night off, man. You don't have to play. And that obviously would lead to Derrick White's line going a lot higher. But I'm not banking on that. Let's talk about Derrick White in a great matchup. White, like I said, is coming off 2 bad games. I don't know. Why do I know that it's Deuce Tatum's birthday? All right, we got to move on. We got to lock in. All right, we've seen 2 bad games. 14 points a few days ago, 4 for 15, and then 6 points yesterday on 1 of 10 shooting, 0 for 8 from 3. I mean, there's not much you can do there. If Derrick White's not making the shots, you move on. But again, Derrick White has the green light, and this should be a great spot for him. How does White score? It's via the 3-point line. So if he's going to not making these threes, it's going to be tough for him to get to 15 points. Well, White, 56% of his points come on above the break 3-pointers. So not in the corners, any 3-pointer that's not in the corner. Or Memphis allows the second most above the break 3-point attempts. And White, as I said, attempts the second most above the break threes on the Celtics. Who attempts the most? Jason Tatum. However, we have to think about Jason Tatum's shoots. It's not a lot of, hey, all right, I'm going to drive and kick it to Tatum. You don't really get a lot of that. Instead, you get Tatum ISOing someone, step back, and things like that. So really, the guy that leads this team in shooting threes is pretty much Derrick White. And we see Memphis allows the 3rd most catch and shoot threes. Why is that important? Because White leads the Celtics in catch and shoot threes. He averages about 6 per game, shooting 48% on those. So again, this is a good spot where the Grizzlies try to pack the paint. They have JJJ, they have Brandon Clark, they have those guys, but they're going to give up some 3-point opportunities. And as we look at the other lines, White is minus 160, heck, even like minus 180 on other books to make 3 threes. So they think we get 9 points out of the 15 this season. Well, over his last 30 games that he's made 3 or more threes, he's hit this over in 25 of 30. He's hit 13 plus in all those 30 games. So he's getting real close. I think he makes 3 threes. He can maybe make 4 or 5 tonight. I think it's a great spot to back Derrick White. Obviously, there's some added bonus and incentive to taking it early because there is a chance when I'm recording this at 8:01 a.m. that Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown is inactive by like noon. So I like taking it here early. I like the matchup, and obviously one of those guys gets ruled out. I love it even more. I like Derrick White's over in points. Third play, we're going to stay in the same game. Ja Morant, give me his over 19.5 points, minus 130 on FanDuel. Now, I'll be honest, when I post this out to the DubClub early, you can join the DubClub right here. I think there's a 7-day free trial down below. The line was 20.5. I'm taking the 20 plus points. Just people get confused when I put 20 plus points on the graphic. Obviously, it's the same thing as over 19.5. You can take this up to 21.5 for Ja Morant. Now, if there's one pick to fade in this video, it's probably this one because me and Morant, I don't have a track record on my betting history with him. Not great, though. He normally likes to wreck me. But again, I have to trust him in this matchup. Now, since Morant's returned from injury, he has scored 22, 27, 19, 31, and 8 points. His last game, as I said, 8 points for Sacramento. Got ejected with 6:45 left in the 4th. We would know that because we were on the Grizzlies spread in that game. Now, did he deserve to get ejected? I'll kind of say, yeah, he was kind of complaining a lot to the refs. And I understand you don't really want to eject a superstar, but you have to establish some ground rules there. And he kept going. Also, I think he was a little bit pissed because he shot 2 for 13 in that game. Probably wasn't getting some foul calls, which is probably what stemmed from it. But again, unlike the Grizzlies, who are like, hey, catch and shoot, go have fun, shoot as many threes as you want against them. It's not how Boston plays defense. Boston allows the 3rd fewest catch and shoot threes. So if you're going to score against Boston, you need your primary guy to be aggressive, and that is Morant. Morant's last 5 versus them. 26, 29, 38, 30, and 25 points. You at least see the field goal attempts. I'm not going to read them all off, but a lot of shots. And as I said, Boston 28th defensively versus the pick and roll ball handlers. So they're not giving up those catch and shoot guys. They're not sagging off the guys in the corner, letting you kick it to them and let you hit threes. That's what they want you to do on offense so that they can make as many threes as possible and outshoot you like that. They'll give up as many 2s as you want. So we should see Ja Morant pretty aggressive today. Obviously, if he misses a shot, whatever. I'm not really afraid of Kristaps down low. And so I think we'll see him be pretty aggressive, Ja Morant here. Still weird with his minutes. Some games I feel like he only gets like 28, 30 minutes, but game coming off, a solid win, but this is a big spot. Ja usually shows up in big spots. I think this is a good spot to back him to score 20. I think he could score 25 easily tonight. And my final play of the day before we talk about all the other games is going to be another over, and it is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 5.5 assists. Now, this was minus 130 on FanDuel. I don't personally love it at if you're taking a 6.5 line. I think he still can get you 7. But assists, just like rebounds, can be pretty sharp on the lines. And sometimes with the stat corrections and stuff like that, it just pisses you off. And I'm pretty sure Rudy Gobert had one taken away from him last night, but I wasn't watching that game, so I have no idea. But I like this one, and I like SGA to get 6 assists. Now, another under that I did look hard at is SGA's under in points. And I'll talk about why, but I think the Pelicans try their best to get the ball out of SGA's hands tonight, as the Pelicans are at home hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, SGA is over this line. Well, you look at him, he's averaging 6.5 a game, assists per game, 12.9 potential assists. In his last 6 games with Isaiah Hartenstein starting, you've seen the numbers, 11, 5, 9, 5, 7, and 5 assists. So he's been a roller coaster. And luckily, we're catching him down here on the uptick. Hopefully he can go back over this line. But again, the assist chances are there. 14, 10, 18, 12, 13, 9 potential assists. Not a lot of potential assists in his last game, but I expect them to increase today based on the matchup. And we've already talked about a bunch of catch and shoot teams. The Grizzlies give up a lot. Boston doesn't give up many. We haven't talked about the team that gives it the most, and now we will. The Pelicans allow the most catch and shoot made threes in the NBA. They allow the 4th most assists per game. They also allow the 2nd most made and attempted field goal attempts in the restricted area. So we're talking about SGA. Where is he passing it to? When he drives, is he passing it to a guy in the mid-range? No, he's passing it to either a guy cutting to the hoop or a guy on the 3-point line. And if you're going to be the Pelicans, I anticipate they're going to double SGA when he drives. He already has Herb Jones on him, a very good defender, but they're going to try their best to take the ball out of his hands. So, look, I wouldn't be shocked if we see SGA even approach like 8 to 10 assists tonight, because that is what they're going to give up. Now, the only negative here is Lou Dort is in the starting lineup, and that man I think is shooting with one hand because he has an injured hand. So hopefully he doesn't play a ton tonight. But again, this is a Pelicans team. If you're looking at how SGA scores, it's a lot in the pick and roll, it's a lot in isolation, and it's a lot on free throws, which is all 3 areas that actually the Pelicans are good defensively against. But we've seen in his last 3 games versus New Orleans, 13, 15, and 11 potential assists. Now, they haven't translated to shots made. We can't make the shots for him, but he's putting his teammates in a good spot to make shots. And we've seen he has 6+ assists in 11 of 17 games this season when he has 10 or more potential assists, 44 of 62 last year. So I'll take my chances. I think he drives. Herb Jones will be on him, so it's already a tough drive there. And when he drives, I anticipate the guys that are guard and corner guys are going to converge on him. He's going to kick it out to those guys, or if he gets a pick from Isaiah Hartenstein, he might get trapped on that drive, dish it to Isaiah Hartenstein, and let's just hope he can go in there and bang one down. Simple as that. So I like SGA's over in assists. I think you might get better value on 6+ assists than taking the over at 5.5. Either way, take a peek at that depending on what book you're taking it on. I like it at minus 130 on FanDuel. I think he gets that. If you want a cheeky parlay, take that. And if wait for his alts under in points, I wouldn't mind putting something on that, because obviously he's probably getting 40 points in and also 6 assists. So I like that. Now let's talk about some games that we didn't talk about. First one will be the first game of the day, Cavaliers and Hornets. No. I'm not betting on that. The Cavaliers, Jared Allen, you can go to hell. And the Charlotte Hornets, Brandon Miller, and that's it. I'm out. Nope. You guys got to pick and choose who you're going to lose money, and I'm not losing money in that game. Pistons and Knicks is another game we'll talk about. I went out of order. Pistons and Knicks. Honestly, a line that I did like is Josh Hart's under in assists at 6.5. The problem is Jalen Brunson is currently iffy. If Jalen Brunson doesn't play, I don't want to be at the helm of that, having the under and assist for Josh Hart, or basically be their point guard. So an under, if once Jalen Brunson is announced active, I don't mind. Josh Hart's under and assists. Pistons side, I would take Jalen Duren's under and rebounds, but again, he doesn't really have any high lines anymore because he sucks. Let's move. Nuggets Wizards. I'm not betting on that. It's a 14.5 spread. No. Mavs Raptors, a game that I looked at back in the Raptors on the spread. Just something there. The Raptors got Scotty Barnes. All of his lines are pretty dang juiced. RJ Barrett, count me out. Grady Dick, maybe, but this is not a good spot up. Not a good spot for spot up shooters like Grady Dick. So not a lot there. And then I already talked about the other games: Grizzlies, Celtics, and Suns Heat. So those are going to do it. 4 picks. I'll recap them right now. Devin Booker's under. We have SGA's over in assists. Derrick White's over in points. John Morant's over in points. Went a little out of order. Those are the 4 picks. Let's try to bring out this bad boy once again. Let's hope for some sweat-free unders today. Well, sweat-free under with D-Buck and some overs for the other guys. I think we have a good day. I think we have a good card. I'll have a bunch of NFL videos live later on today, so stay tuned for those. Let's have a good week in the NFL. Let's have a good week in the NBA. And I'll see you guys back again tomorrow with some more picks for a full slate before the slate starts to become weird on Monday. We'll talk about you. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, for this bad boy out. See you in the next one. Peace.